We are live. This is so bizarre, isn't it? I don't even know if people can see us or anything. It's so strange.
I don't know where it says anything.
Currently broadcasting to YouTube. I don't know. I've opened up the YouTube to see if it is there, but I'd probably have to put it on mute, won't I? Because otherwise we'll be that's an audio. We are live. Yeah, it is. This is so bizarre, isn't it? I don't even. Right, I've paused the YouTube live because otherwise that would be really weird hearing ourselves playing back. But it is. It's actually going on to you as we speak. Right. So I don't know if there's anybody there. I honestly have no clue how this is working, but I thought it'd be a great chance for us all to have like a little natter, test out how this whole thing works, and just all hang out together. So I have thought of a few topics for us to talk about. So I think lots of people will be interested in like our books and like how we all got into deciding to self-publish, because a lot of people think about it like, do I want to do it? Don't I want to do it? And there's a thing that put me off for ages was I didn't even know where to even start. It was like that was a huge hurdle for me. I thought I have to go traditional because I need someone there to hold my hand and tell me what to do because I don't know what to do. And it's only through World Indie Warriors and you guys that really inspired me to realize that I do have the power to do it myself. And yes, it does take a lot of learning and you have to be the master of everything or hire people to do things that you can't. But yeah, I realized that I can do it, and it was really quite an amazing experience. I feel so proud of myself every time I see my book cover and someone goes, "Oh, your book looks gorgeous." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine.
I don't think that feeling ever goes away.
No, I don't think it does.
What was the first book you published, Alexis? When was it?
Oh, the first one was a train wreck. It was The Gem of Maruna. I fell for the old Vanity Press scheme and got scammed back in, it was like 6 years ago. And I ended up regretting it a lot because Vanity Presses are terrible.
What was the book you published?
That was The Gem of Maruna. I've re-released it since through Ingram Spark in December, actually. And I published Annabelle through KDP right after that one because I knew, like, by then I had started learning about the publishing industry and, you know, self-publishing versus traditional versus vanity presses. So I knew that since it was a novella, it was going to be really hard to get a traditional publisher to pick it up. So I just put that one on KDP. And then it was a long time before I kind of realized that self-publishing would be better for me. So I wasted years pursuing traditional and just letting the manuscripts pile up while I was doing the queries and figuring out all the different things they wanted.
Alexis, you worked on different manuscripts while you were chasing that. Whereas with me, every time I got a rejection, I went back to my manuscript, worked on trying to figure out what was wrong with it. Over the 10 years, there's been so many different edits of Drift, Jewel of the Sea, now Ocean Heart. But I spent all that time thinking, what's wrong with my manuscript? And now I've put it out there, and like some people are starting to get those first reviews. I'm realizing people do love it. Like, so I kept putting all that ownership, all that needing a publisher to tell me that you are good enough, Ally, for me to believe in myself. But now I realize that I don't need. I need readers to believe that I'm good enough. They're the ones that are buying the book. They're the ones I need investing in me. So, yeah, I waste a lot of time. But at least, Alexis, you were working on other books. So when you changed your mind, you've got them all ready. Whereas I've got lots of drafts that are nowhere near ready. That I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
Well, traditional publishing is just kind of behind the times at this point. They take so long to get back to people, and they only take about 1% of the manuscripts that they get. So you wait 3 months to a year to even hear back, and got a 99% chance of being rejected. It's just
even to then still get to a bookshop.
Yeah,
you did a similar thing, didn't you, Jodie? Because you decided to test self-publishing with a novella, didn't you?
I did. Well, I'd had Sorceress of Truth since I started writing it in 2006, 2007. I was pursuing traditional publishing and didn't want a I didn't want an agent. I wanted to go direct.
Yeah.
So that obviously limits who will accept the manuscript as well. And while I was pursuing that side, I wrote Envy, my novella. I was curious about self-publishing, and I think looking at all the articles online and forums and groups and things, it looks really complicated. And you just get bombarded with all this information, and I was like, I don't really know how to do this. So I thought by doing the novella through, I've done it through Kindle Unlimited for KDP, it just sort of dipped my toes in there really, so I could just see how it worked. And then after that, release Sorceress of Truth.
Yeah.
I did to abandon the traditional.
Yeah. And I'm glad you did, because I love Sorceress of Truth. How is Sorceress of Flame coming along? Have I got a long wait still to go? Is it getting close?
It is currently sat, let me work out, 113,000, and it's probably got about another 20,000 words to go.
Yeah. Do you struggle with writing? Sorry? Do you struggle with writing endings, or do you know how it's going to end?
I've got the majority of the book up to a certain point, and then I've got the last, say, quarter. So it's just that middle bit.
That's the bit I really struggle with myself, is tidying up all those loose ends at the end. So I know kind of where I'm going to go, but it's just pulling it all together to a nice conclusion that the reader will be satisfied with. And that's why I hate, and that's what's left really with Skyheart, is that I know I've got to rewrite the whole thing. It's going to be messy. My sound's gone really funny over here. I don't know if it's gone funny for you guys. Yeah, so
I didn't hear it.
Oh, it's horrible for me. I'm hearing my voice twice. But yeah, I don't like writing the endings. So Skyheart's almost finished. I want to re-edit or rewrite stuff, because there's bits I've like developed from writing Ocean Heart. I can see how to be a better writer from my writing, and having an editor look at it and give me feedback. I've learned quite a lot from Avery. She was really good. So that's helped me develop. So I know I need to mend Skyheart, make it better. But I still struggle with the end of that. I know it's about 20,000 words I've got at the end of that book that still need to be even drafted. And I'm really struggling with those 20,000 words. I tried to do it earlier at one of the other nano challenges, and those, it was just a real mess. And I was like, no, that's all got to be deleted.
I hope you saved it in like a separate document.
I do. I'm a little bit like sentimental about even when I'm deleting stuff out. And one of the good things with Ocean Heart, I had a secondary character, one of my earlier drafts, which was one of the mums, Denny. And I'm now thinking of getting those cuts and making a prequel out of it. It'll need a little bit of work to put it all together, like, stitch it together nicely. Yeah. But I'm actually glad I saved them, because I think that will be a lovely prequel. I think it's going to be set in the like 80s 90s sort of period, because obviously it's going to be when she was a teen, so it'll still be UA, but it'll be like historical UA fantasy.
Oh my god, the 80s and 90s is historical now. Oh,
I know.
No.
They actually study it at my daughter's school. Every year it is given a decade that they study for a week, and then at the end of the decade they get to dress up and everything. So last year she had 80s, this year she's had 70s. But yeah, when she got 80s, and I was like, I'm not that old.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Oh yeah, I want to think about it. But like when Avery was editing Ocean Heart, she kept saying, is this novel supposed to be set in the current time or back in the 80s? And there was little bits in there that like gave away my age. And so that's why I thought I might find it quite easy writing this prequel, because I could just tap into my inner teen.
Yeah, that's kind of what's happened with me this time around for NaNoWriMo. I'm doing a prequel novella for Kylan, one of the sort of secondary characters in Sorceress of Truth. So, but that's set in sort of late Victorian era, so 1890s.
Yeah.
So that brings up a whole host of other.
You've been doing a lot of research, haven't you? You've been going in time machines, finding out information for us.
Yeah, been on the web for hours.
Rabbit
I'll show
hole.
you at the minute, but over there I've got a massive map of Blackpool in 1894 on my
Wow.
wall, and I've printed off sort of details of landmarks, which I'm going to pin on. Because obviously it's set in a real place, so I need to know what landmarks were there at the time.
I love contemporary fantasy and urban fantasy, but I'm starting to think, have I made this harder for myself writing something set in the real world? Because I have to make sure it's actually factual as much as it is fantasy as well. Maybe I should have gone for high fantasy and made my own world, and then if people come on, because I'm like, yeah, well, that is right.
Well, this novella, it's obviously set in a real setting at a real point in time, but
Yeah.
obviously some of the things that happen wouldn't have happened.
No, I did try to write a dystopia where there was no electricity, and because obviously my whole life there has been electricity, I honestly struggled to imagine, like, how do you do this without electricity? Like, I couldn't write the story. I had to give up. I'm going to go back to it one day, but I need to do a hell of a lot more research to get that story to work.
Yeah, I ran into that when I was writing World for the Broken. I had recently gotten into like a post-apocalyptic survivalism kick, so it kind of helped because I'd been doing a little research already just because I thought that stuff was interesting.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different world doing that.
Yeah. Didn't you play that game that was a post-apocalyptic game as well?
Oh yeah, Fallout.
They Live Underground. Was it called?
Fallout.
Fallout, yeah. I tried playing that on the PlayStation, but I wasn't very good at it. I kept getting killed. And I do too.
That's okay. That's part of it.
I was heavily pregnant at the time, so I was worried I was going to end up like causing my baby to come out shaking with fear. I was getting scared by that big like monster thing. Oh no! But I played the little one on my phone instead, which was a lot more simpler, where you just had to sort of build rooms and you had to keep. It was more like one of those games where you have to, I don't know what it's called. You have to do certain things to make other things happen. So you had to keep the population going. So they had to have food, and it was a bit more like that. So it was a bit more common.
Like I'm obsessed at the moment with 2 Point Hospital, which is pretty much the original Theme Hospital.
I was going to say, is it like Theme Hospital? I love that game.
I don't think I've heard of either of those.
If you go on Steam, it's on there.
It's so funny. Theme Hospital, like people come in and they've got like big head disease, like where the head swells up, and you build a
floaty head.
Floaty head. They have to get and people with their imaginary friend syndrome, and you have to sort of go see the psychologist, and they have to have that be talked out of having an imaginary friend. Just crazy stuff.
Oh my God.
Good.
On this
I've
one,
never heard of those.
It's fun.
I can't find it. There's one where one of the diseases, it's somebody, they think they're famous.
Yes.
So they walk into the hospital and the Freddie Mercury, with his like yellow jacket and white and they have to go therapy.
And the funny thing is, you end up with a psychologist's office with all these people dressed up like Elvis sitting outside waiting to go in to be cured. So it is really funny.
So that's what I'm playing at the moment.
I've lost hours to that game. And then when you have to get rid of the mice and you have your shotgun and you're shooting up the hospital trying to get rid of it, have you got the
Well, on this one, it's not mice anymore. It's a monobrow.
A monobrow. Okay.
Yeah. So it goes around the hospital like a slug.
But you know that the person that wrote the game has obviously got a crazy imagination like all of us, because they just come up with these wild ideas, don't they? Which I think is what's dealing with it. But have you guys ever been inspired to write a story based on a game you've played?
Sort of. When I started working at the factory, a guy there wanted me to start playing World of Warcraft with him. And I knew nothing about the game. So I got on there and I made a character and I got it up to level 5. And then the first time we were going to play, he was like, you made your character Alliance. We can't play together because I'm on the other side of this war. So I had to go through and make another character and I got it up to level 5. And then because I'm me, I wanted a backstory for them. because all of my characters on any game I play, I always make a backstory for them. But I knew nothing about the world, so I just came up with my own world and made the characters fit into that world, and then I wrote an entire book and never played the game again. So
Got distracted by your own story.
I just couldn't get into World of Warcraft. I don't like playing it on the computer. I don't like the controls on there. I like the controller for the PlayStation much better. So I just couldn't get into it.
I'm more of a gamer.
Yeah, what game did you do you know what character you made?
It was Illyri and Bellarone from Where Darkness Leads. That one's not out yet. I'm doing a major rewrite of it right now.
I think I played World of Warcraft at one point. I think I was a Blood Elf, but I don't know if I'm getting it mixed up with a different game. There is Blood Elves in World of Warcraft. Because you could have red hair, and I obviously wanted to make it look a little bit
I don't know what kind of elves they have. They have 2 different types, and I don't know what they are. There is the option for red hair on one of them, but I don't remember what they were.
I didn't ever write a proper novel, but there was a game called City of Heroes and City of Villains, and that it started off as just City of Heroes, and it was so good. It was a bit like you liked it, Jodie, because it was a bit like Sims. When you made your character, you literally could make them however you wanted, except obviously these were superheroes, so they had like some pretty crazy costumes you could dress them in as well as powers and everything. And so they started off with heroes, and you had to write a little character bio, which started off as a little story, and then I made a whole family of these characters, and then they brought a City of Villains. So then I had a story that had to be the arch enemy to my hero. It was really incredible. I was really sad the day that they decided to discontinue the game, but that was really good franchise. Apparently it's like on the underground somewhere, like on the internet, but I won't ever download dodgy files just in case I get a virus or something. Yeah. Just can't afford that to my computer, so I just log on there. But yeah, I love Little Heroes.
I don't think I've ever written a story from a game.
There's still
sorry? I was going to say, a lot of people I know use games like Sims to help design the buildings and rooms and
that's good.
Yeah, and the character creation on the games now is getting unreal. So you can use them to build your characters, and it's fantastic. Like I used Elder Scrolls Online to make a couple characters, and they look amazing.
That's really cool. I haven't tried doing that yet, but I've just been using, I think it was you, Alexis, who told me about it, that Art Breeder.
Oh yeah, I love that site. It's fantastic.
It's kind of like a bit hit and miss. Like you start off creating your character on it, and the first few attempts didn't come out quite right, but then you keep breeding and breeding and breeding, and then you're like, that's my character, I've found them. It's really satisfying when you get them.
Yeah, it's just really hard to get like the humanoid type aspects. So like pointed ears, or like I have characters in a book I'm working on now that have antlers, and that's not going to happen on Art Breeder. That's not going to work.
You'd have to get the picture and then add the antlers in later with another app.
Well, and I've been looking at things on this other site called the Render Shop, and they sell these 3D renders, and they have antlers as one of the things, so I could just put them on there.
Yeah, I'll look that one up. You have to send me the link later, because I've not heard of Render Shop, and it sounds quite interesting.
It's really cool. And they have freebies every week, and if you're a member on their Facebook, you can get extra free stuff. So
definitely want to check that one out. Sounds interesting. Another rabbit hole to go visit.
That's exactly what it is too, because that's where I got the stuff. Well, one of the aspects for the new cover for Soul Bearer came from them. It's actually the girl, and it's just beautiful, the detailed, and I'm struggling for words now for some reason, but
I don't think I've seen your new cover for Soul Bearer yet.
I haven't officially announced it yet.
Oh, okay, so I've missed. I hate when the algorithm hides important stuff from me, and I'm like, I hear from someone else, and then I realise that they've been talking about their book for months, and I haven't clicked like on anything, because I haven't seen any of it, and I'm like, how has this been hidden from me? So that's good. Are you focusing on Heart of Salt and Silver LL? You know what I'm trying to say? You're focusing on that at the moment, and then we'll get to see the cover.
I am kind of working on about 1 million things at a time. So this week has kind of been sidetracked. Last Monday, I think, I got an email from the blog tour company that I'm working with for A Heart of Salt and Silver, with 9 interviews and guest blogs that I needed to have filled out by this Friday. So I've kind of been sidetracked working on getting those done because it's a very short time frame to do all those. But I only have 2 left, so hopefully I'll be able to get the new cover uploaded tomorrow, maybe.
Oh, no pressure, but I am excited to see it, especially now you've told us about how awesome this character's looking. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds exciting. I want to see it. And I did like your old cover as well. So this one has got to top that one. So it must be
I freaking love how it turned out. I had to do a lot of work to, like, I took images from Canva. I took the render from the render shop. I took things from Pixabay, like different pictures from everywhere, and then I had to make sure they actually looked like they belonged together. And I had to alter all of them because the render didn't have pointed ears or the right color hair, so I had to adjust all that. But so it took a lot of work.
Your cover designs as well, because you made A Heart of Salt and Silver as well, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have I want to do it. I do enjoy, I go in Canva a lot and make a lot of my social media posts and pictures and stuff, and I do really enjoy it.
And you're really good at it.
Yeah, but I just worried I wouldn't have the time to put into my cover with like everything else going on in my life. And my cover was really important to me, so that's why I did post on it. One day I definitely want to be doing that, make my own covers, because I enjoy it. It's fun. But I need to give it the right amount of time to do it properly and learn it properly.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. Like, lean the wrong way. Salt and Silver, the first time I put it together took about 5 hours. And then I realized, because I did the same with that one, I picked and pulled pieces from different images. There's like 4 or 5 different pictures in there. Yeah. And then I had to blend them all together. And the first time I did it, I forgot to flip one of the images so the light source would be on the right side. So then I had to go back through and completely redo the whole thing because I had already compressed them by the time I realized it. So I couldn't just undo it and flip that one. I had to start from scratch. And
I'm saying, like, yeah, I know, but I have no clue about this whole light thing. See, this would have totally lost me if I was doing. I definitely would have done the light source thing all wrong because I have no clue what that's about.
Yeah, I just didn't think about it the first time. Like, I lined up every other piece of the final picture to where the light source would be on the same side. But then that one, I just shoved it in there and I was like, okay, that's good. I didn't think about it for some reason until it was all done.
All my social media pictures were saying when we were going live for the whole like series, and put +1 hour on all of them until Holly pointed out it's not +1 after a certain date, and I was like, oh yeah. It's so easy to do, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Time zones are a nightmare.
Yeah. Are you doing Nano, Jodie?
I am.
I knew you would. Are you going to be doing your things like to keep us motivated, like you've done on the previous ones, where you go on Instagram, tell us all off and not doing it, and go, come on, guys, I'm going to make you do it. I'm going to put the timer on and you go.
Yeah, I'm sure. We'll do a few chats on Instagram Live, and also, I don't know, through the group and whatnot. So most of the sprints will be through World Indie Warriors and the Facebook page. Might even do a few of the rooms. Like, I think I did one last time.
Yeah.
So,
what was the room?
I'll be there.
Yeah. Cool, because that did save me last time, because like I was struggling to get motivated, and then just hearing you guys all chat, and then it's almost like a pressure kind of thing. Like you go, I'm putting the timer on now, and you've got to write, and I was like, well, I've got to do something. But it helped me get back into the story again. So it's really, I do think they are beneficial and they do help. And it also reminds you you're not on your own writing, because being a writer, I love being on my own. I'm a bit of an introvert, so I kind of like the whole writing, lock me in a cupboard with a pen and paper and I'm fine. Like the whole lockdown thing, not really bothered. Let me stay home and write. But
Exactly.
at the same time, it can get a bit lonely as well. So I do love the lives to remind me there are other writers out there.
I think that's the issue. It's you don't necessarily mind being on your own. I love being at home on my own, but it's not just. I think because nobody I'm around at home are writers or really that creative, to be honest.
Yeah.
You need somebody on the same wavelength. Yeah.
100%, yes. And I think for a long time growing up, I felt like a little weirdo because nobody really got what was going on, especially when I would go off one of my little imaginary tangents and like would say something really bizarre and people were like, Ally, what are you on about? And then I found out there were other weirdos out there too, and I was like, yay, we can all write together. So it's quite fantastic. Sorry for calling weirdos. It's true.
That's perfectly okay. I don't mind.
Yeah, I think everybody has a small element of weirdo in them.
Yeah.
I kind of got lucky with having someone else creative around. My husband is an artist, so he's pretty good for bouncing ideas off because he can see them from a different perspective and actually think through it. And he's into fantasy and sci-fi and all that stuff as well, so that definitely helps.
So what sort of art does he do?
Well, until his hands get fixed from his carpal tunnel, he can't do a lot right now, but he's really good with realistic portraits and like fantasy things like that. He's good with sculpting clay as well, but we don't have the setup for that. So we have a kiln at his parents' house, but that's about 3 hours away. So
try to put something in the kiln.
Yeah. And then having to stick around and, make sure it doesn't mess up or anything like that.
It kind of needs to be a holiday to go making clay at his parents' house.
Yeah. And we don't get very many of those. Work doesn't allow for them. So
no, your work does sound like they're pretty hard. Like you must have all been wicked people at that company.
Oh, it's so terrible sometimes, but I don't know. Just gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, well, that's adult life. Just gotta make sure the bills are paid. That's it.
Yeah, unfortunately. So let me just check right. What are your work in progresses at the moment? Jodie, how many work in progress?
Let me have a look at my bullet journal.
Oh no, Alexis, while she's counting, how many work in progress have you got going at the moment? Oh dear, you're counting as well.
Yeah. I just don't have them written down. I just have to count in my head.
No.
It depends on if you count a series as multiple things or just one thing.
We do count them as multiple.
Multiple things? Okay. Well, I've got 3 in editing right now, and then I'm writing the series, which is going to be 3 books plus 2 prequels. The first 2 books are written. The 3rd book is started. One of the prequels is started. The other prequel is just a short story, so that one won't take long. But so 8 plus the new cover for Soul Bearer and the release for Salt and Silver. So not a lot.
Jodie, have you managed to count yours yet?
Wow. 8 that I've got in progress, and then another 12 that are at idea stage.
I must admit, I've been quite strict since I decided I was going to publish, and I do just focus on one project at a time. I used to be like that and have loads everywhere, but because with little kids and a job and everything, I literally, I'm sometimes lucky if I have 1 hour in the evening to work on my writing. So I had to just be like, right, if I'm going to get something finished, I've got to focus on just one, which is why I focus on Ocean Heart. So I think Sky Heart will be my next one, but there is a chance I might accidentally also start working on the prequel as well. But but if there's anybody watching that does struggle with finding time to write, I just wanted to know that it's okay to have just one project or 8 more.
Well, the thing is, like, obviously, I've got that small amount to write in Sorceress of Flame, and then while that's off being edited and whatnot, obviously this November I'm writing the prequel. I want to try and get that out before Sorceress of Flame.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a free download on my newsletter.
What, Sorceress of Flame?
No, the prequel.
The prequel, okay.
Yeah. And then my next series is something completely different, and it's my dark mafia romance, which has been written. The first book is written. I'm just doing additions to it at the moment. So there shouldn't be too much to do once Sorceress of Flame is out.
How does it feel writing something so different? So like going from like a UA fantasy, new adult fantasy, because she's kind of like between that age, isn't she? And then doing
Sorceress of Flame is very, very much new adult. It's not YA at all.
Yeah, it's more
there is a jump.
Yeah.
It's not as difficult as you might think.
Really?
No, I'm very much I don't know if it's just because of how I am. Obviously, being Sagittarius as well, we don't tend to stick around that long. We tend to have a lot of things happening. So for me, having lots of projects is great because, you know, if I get bored on one or I'm stuck or whatever, I just move to the next.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And then, Alexis, you don't like sticking to just one genre, do you?
I almost always come back to high fantasy romance, but I do write in other genres as well, like sci-fi or thrillers and things like that. And then like the short stories, all bets are off. It could be any genre. But
because it wasn't fantasy or mafia. That was another genre as well, Jodie. So you have done
that was more of a, I don't even know what I'm classed it as, really, just general.
I think it's contemporary drama.
Suspense in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we say, I don't tend to stick to one genre anyway.
No.
But,
I think I will have an explore of other genres when I've got a bit more time, but for now, I'll just stick to the one at the moment.
Yeah.
I have written
the Divine Proxy series ended up being sort of YA fantasy because, particularly when I started it, that's all I read was YA fantasy. But now, sort of branching out a little more.
Do you find indie authors help you to encourage you to try out different things because they're more diverse, aren't they? Like they're all trying something different, and they're all quite like supportive. And then you want to give your support back, so then it like makes you like explore genres you might not have ever picked up before. Like I find myself reading stuff I never would have probably picked, and then end up liking it.
I think that's it. I mean, it goes back to the traditional or indie arguments. You know, if you go traditional and they do pick you up, you then sort of railroaded down one path.
Yeah.
Whereas as an indie, you're kind of free to do what you want, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like on the marketing side of it, it's easier if you stick to one genre, but we've already got such a mountain ahead of us with marketing. I mean, why not scale a couple of them while we're at it?
Yeah. And like you might convert them to a new genre anyway. Try something you've never tried before. I don't know if there's been anybody. I don't know where we get the chat from for people. I don't know where it is. So if people have been asking questions, I don't know how to see the questions to answer them. I don't know where that is. Apparently they can ask questions, but I can't see where it is. Yeah, I have no clue. I've looked on the YouTube channel and I cannot see. I see we've got 2 likes, but I can't see if we've got any questions. There's like a chat thing, but
if I go into chat, it just comes up as a private chat. So
maybe I've done
don't you have something on the right hand side? You can.
Yeah, but it says that it's just a private chat for us guys, I think. Like to check if like arrived all right and stuff like that. I think it's like that. Because I can see there's one comment in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, Cara, can you see this?
Yes, Parler, we can see it.
Yay, it works. I don't know how Cara
Where did Elexis go?
I don't know, we've lost her. I've been lurking. It looks like I can add you to it, Cara, if I wanted to, but I won't do that to you because you weren't you weren't prepped that you might get thrown into the screen. But have you got any questions for us, Cara? My cam doesn't work. Okay. Good excuse. Okay, yeah. That's okay, Cara. Did you have any questions you had for us while you're here? Have you enjoyed the show? You got to wait for the reply. Someone's like, yay, I did. She likes it. Yay. Okay, well, I think we've lost Elexis, and I think we have covered everything we want to do. Is there anything you want to chat with while you've got me here, JD?
I don't know. Have we got any small snippets or anything that you want to read out?
Right, not yet. Give me a chance to get my book so that I can like highlight something. I've got a book blitz coming up the first week of November. One of the things I've got to do is I've got to send out some excerpts of my book. And do you remember I saw it posted on World Indie Warriors Facebook group? I don't know if you saw it saying, how do you pick your excerpts? I'm literally like, what do I pick to like showcase my book to make people want to buy it? So I'm like, oh, I don't know where to even start. So I'm still stuck on that. I haven't done it yet. So I'm definitely not ready to read out anything.
I just tend to pick parts that I like and that I think, I don't know, maybe reveals a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of information, so people think, oh, I want to know what that's about.
Yeah, I think I might do something with the powers or something to do with the kiss, because I think they're two of the things that people might be interested in, because they're kind of like the selling points of the book is things.
There we go.
Alexis, I've added you back in, but you're not moving, but you are moving now, so I don't know what that was about on my side.
That was just my Wi-Fi was messing up. It's storming here, so the power flickered and shut everything off for a second.
How do you pick your excerpts, Alexis?
It's kind of random, which it probably shouldn't be. It's just scenes that kind of stick out in my head that I really liked, and
was like
seemed really emotional to me, and that's usually just what I go with.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. I think when I get my book through, or I'll just sit there with like a highlighter and like I'll draw. It'll be my copy, so I can draw in it. If it was anybody else, no drawing in the book. Don't tell me about it. But yeah, I might highlight some little bits that I like, and they'll be the ones that I might send out to the bloggers and stuff and say, yeah, this is a little excerpt you can use. But I just wanted to.
I just keep a separate document. Like I have a document on my computer that I just called metadata, and it's got all the it's got sections for each book, and it's got like the keywords and the blurbs and all the links, and then if I pick an excerpt, I make a little subheading for excerpts for each book, and I put those in there so I don't have to go back to the book. I can just copy and paste them over wherever I need them.
That's a really good idea. I've done something similar. I've done one called Media Kit. I don't know if that's the correct word. And Michelle was talking about it during our marketing live the other day on about media kits. And I was like, oh, Michelle, I have done one. So I sent her what mine looked like. And it had got little bits of things that I'd like collected up that I thought might be useful. And it was just like in like a folder of lots of things. So there was one was just a document with my book, my blurb, the ISBNs, my author bio, and my picture and stuff. So that was like all in one document, which is what I sent to the bookshop to say, you know, can I get people to pre-order my book for you and I'll come in and sign it? And they were like, yeah, cool. And I was like, oh my God, it worked. So I was like really excited about it. It actually worked. But I've got other bits as well, like I've been saving up as I go along. Just like the things for our events coming up, like this is in my little folder in case I needed to send it to someone saying, oh yeah, I'm going live with Jodie and Alexis on this date, and here's the image to go with it. So it's all that kind of cool stuff, like promo stuff, really. I guess it could be called my promo folder.
Nah, as long as you can find it and know what you're looking for, I don't think you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, I think I just need to figure out this excerpts bit, and I think then I'll be quite happy that my folder's got the meat of the things that I might get asked for. But yeah, it saves time, doesn't it? Because people ask for the same things over and over again. Like, can I have your bio? Can I have your blurb? Can I have the link to buy it? It's all just there. It's quick and easy to send.
And having a couple like bios from different lengths and stuff like that is not everyone wants the same like word count on stuff or any of that. And like
that's a good one to know.
With like the guest posts and the blurbs and teaser lines and stuff like that, they've all wanted different lengths or like 3 or 4 of them, and just gotta have options, I guess.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It is a little bit like when you have to query all these different literary agents. They all want the same thing, but they want something slightly different, and you have to tweak it to meet their needs every time. And I used to have a folder full of different things for them. Like somebody wants 1,000 words, another person wants 3 chapters, and it's all these different variations of different things that they wanted. Someone wanted my marketing plan. I was like, "How do you marketing my book?"
Yeah, like that was the main thing I wanted traditional publishing for, was the marketing, is that they would be helping with that. And then they were asking for 5-year marketing plans, even though most traditional publishers only keep a book out for like 2 years, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Why would you want a 5-year plan? That doesn't make sense.
I guess they're trying to see how invested people are in before they invest in them. But the things that I would
have to write a whole book. I mean, that's pretty invested.
My query folder was almost a whole book of different things for different people.
And they all want them formatted differently. Like some of them want them in standard manuscript form, and others want them like double spaced with bigger margins. And
and some paste it into our form.
Yeah, they just need to come together and agree on one solid format and just all take the same thing.
Yeah,
but I don't see that.
That's
happening.
why in the end I was just like, nope, I've had enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I wasted too much time chasing that. I really wish I'd come to my senses a bit sooner. It is a lot of work. I could have spent that time writing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of time to get into it.
Push into World into Warriors.
Thanks, Jo. I do. I really am thankful for that. And I'm glad you did Sorceress of Truth. That is seriously one of my favourite books. I love it. That's why I want the next one. But I don't want to put pressure on you because I don't want you to brush it out and then it not be as good. I want your creative genius to come out again. No pressure.
I know what is happening. I've got I've actually done a bit of a plan for this one. It's just getting it down.
Yeah. Getting it out right.
There's a few characters in it that I think you'll like.
Yay. Something to look forward to.
and some of the old ones that you like even more.
Yeah. There is a certain vampire that I want to see how he develops.
He's going through a tricky time.
Oh, after all those years.
Well, if they're alive for longer, they can go through more.
Yeah.
You just see more problems. It just makes them more fun to play with, because they can see the rise and fall of entire nations. They can go through a lot.
Yeah. They're complex characters.
One of them has.
Who's your favourite character you've written? Picking your favourite child.
Mine. My favourite character is in a book that I haven't released yet.
Oh.
It's I put a picture on Instagram a while back. Ricardo, one of the Yankee tribe from the Mafia series.
I'll have to look forward to find that one.
Well, I'm sure you commented on it at the time when I put it on.
Was he quite nice to look at?
He is.
Yeah, I might have commented on that. Appreciate
But no, obviously it's not just all about the looks, it's personality as well. He's good fun.
Yeah, I could tell that from looking at the photo. It was definitely the deeper part that I was attracted to. Oh dear. So I didn't.
How about you, Alexis? Which one's your favourite?
Oh yeah, Alexis almost got out.
Almost. I'd say probably either. I don't know if I could narrow it down. Either Ness from from Heart of Salt and Silver, Chloe from World for the Broken, or Annabelle from Annabelle. Those
Is it
three.
true that Annabelle uses an umbrella as a weapon?
She does. She's kind of modified it.
Yeah, I have a story where I was going to have umbrellas as a weapon, but I haven't written it yet. But I don't think mine's going to be quite the same as yours is, because isn't she like a vengeance person?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's a vigilante, going after sexual predators, and she's back in the Old West. So she's got the parasol is something that she could, carry, and no one would think anything of it. So she's hidden blades in the end, like the little tip of it, and she's got a mechanism concealed within it that when she flips it, they kind of like branch out like an umbrella. So she just stabs the person with it, and then flips the little mechanism so that the blades flip out, and well, it does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, you can imagine.
I think we've got a comment in the chat as well.
Oh, we do.
It was the second ever indie book I read. Cara is great. She loves it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty early on for me as well. I think it was like the third or fourth book I'd read.
Yeah.
It's a very emotional book, that's for sure. It's extremely cathartic.
I think in my review I put it's small but mighty, just like the character.
Is it quite gory?
It gets gory in a couple scenes. Yeah, it's not a light read at all. It's pretty heavy.
It's not like horror. It's not overly graphic though. I don't.
No. I did think it is the only novel I know of with an umbrella as a weapon, so I did think about reading it for umbrella weapon research.
I mean, that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah, but I haven't having the time to write this novel that I've got in my head. But yeah, that is the only book I can think of that I could read for umbrella weapon research.
Yeah, it's weaponized parasols don't really come up very much. They're kind of out there a little.
Yeah.
But no, it's a very heavy book. It's short. It's like.
Is it because it's also dealing with some quite deep issues within it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's short. It's only like that. Like it's not a very long book, but it deals with a lot of heavy subjects, and it gets pretty deep into them.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's the evolution of a 13-year-old girl into a serial killer. So it's.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like that might be a light read.
Yeah, it's not light at all. But
which character is most like you?
Wait
for I said which character is most like you. I'm just hoping you don't say Annabelle.
I give all of my characters some aspect of myself. Some of them just get like a favorite color. Some of them get an experience that I've been through. Some of them get like an emotion I'm struggling with at the time. So they all get something, but those three are probably closest.
Not the serial killer part, though.
Not the serial killer part, no.
We can meet with Alexis.
What?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't a serial killer in case we ever did.
No. I do have a lot of bones and like animal parts in my library, but it's they're all from like oddities dealers and stuff like that. I'm not out killing anything, so.
And what about you, JD? Which character is most like you?
Well, every single female lead has the same birthday as me, so they all get a part of me.
Really?
Yes, we all share the same birthday.
That's like a little Easter egg there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But no, I'd say out of all of them that I've written, probably Tori the most. She's got quite a lot of elements of me, and a lot of her sort of her past and her personality are sort of elements of sort of my past as well. So yeah, Tori.
At least you can know you'll never forget her birthday, will you?
Exactly. They're all Sagittarius.
Do you guys ever do anything to celebrate your book birthdays?
Sorry?
Well, Soul Bear is getting a new cover for book birthday.
Aww.
So that's as close as I've come. I didn't do anything for the Gem of Maruna originally because, well, with the Vanity Press scam, I was kind of ashamed of it. And then Annabelle, I didn't realize book birthdays were a thing. So I didn't even think about it then.
Oh, poor baby book, Annabelle. What about you, JD? Isn't Sorceress of Truth's birthday coming up soon?
Yes, 10th of November.
That is close.
In an ideal world, the second book would have been ready and I'd release it on the same day. But Corona happened and that's not going to happen now. Then I did think about doing a hardback cover. But I might wait until both of them have been released.
I was thinking about doing for mine was maybe a hardback because I do like them. Because don't you place on a lot of your books hardback?
Actually, since I've been going through Ingram Spark, Annabelle is the only one that doesn't have the hardback option.
Yeah,
and that's just because that one's still through KDP. But all the rest of them
wouldn't buy because there was still, even though I was publishing, there's still this fear of me that no one was going to buy my book. And the hardback, when you do hardback, the price goes up quite a bit, doesn't it? So I was a bit scared, like, what if that puts people off, especially with it being a debut novel? So I wanted to like build up, like get people to realize that, like build up my credibility that I'm not like just somebody who's just typed up a Word document, just uploaded it and said, oh, that will do. I have put the effort in to make it a quality book before I did my hardback. But that is something that I really would love to do one day, is a hardback. They look so good. And when you see the bookstagrammers on Instagram, the hardback books do look so pretty in the pictures, don't they? When they do those ones, they do all the flowers and like, wow.
And you could still have the paperback and the ebook available as well. It's just it'd be another option.
Yeah.
Oh,
there is a question for you, Alexis. Says, how does Ingram Spark work for you, Alexis?
It depends on the day. They have recently redone their website and kind of broken it. So it's been pretty difficult here lately dealing with technical issues and trying to sort through all the stuff that's going wrong on their end, especially with COVID going on right now. So most of them are working from home, and anything with computers, sometimes you have to actually go in and manually reset something, and they can't do that because they're all working from home, which means that there's even more technical problems in addition to the brand new website that they're still sorting out. So I had a lot of trouble uploading A Heart of Salt and Silver. It got caught in limbo where I needed to upload something, but it said it was processing, so I couldn't upload it, but it wouldn't come out of processing until I uploaded it. And it took like a week and a half to get that fixed so that I could even put the cover on there. And then the cover was messed up and their system didn't catch it like it's supposed to because the system's messed up. And it took another week and a half to get that sorted. And then when I got them, they were the misprints. I put a picture on Instagram a while back. So instead of the letters on the cover, it had little white dots. So
I did see that.
But that's all sorted out now. It just dealing with the technical issues since then. But other than that, they're pretty good to work with. I love the print quality most of all. Like they just feel so good in hand. I do the matte covers and they just feel soft.
I've gone for matte. That's good to know.
It's fantastic. But hopefully they'll get all this stuff sorted soon.
Because you've done it as well.
A video Yeah, on Instagram, before I released Sorceress of Truth, I'd got the 2 copies side by side for Amazon and the Ingram prints, and I definitely prefer the Ingram print.
Cool. I'm going to have to try and figure out how to get like an advanced copy of my book printed to me, because I've ordered it, but it hasn't arrived yet. So I think I might have ordered it and it's going to come out on the release day of the 1st December. I'd like to see it before then, in case there's like a white dot text or something.
Yeah.
But I did get the electronic PDF copy of like proof of how it's going to look, and it all did look fine on that file. So I approved that. So I'm hoping that means that it's all going to be fine, that everything's going to be okay.
Well, I'd still recommend trying to get a physical proof, because the PDF proof of Salt and Silver looked perfect, and then it came with the white dots.
Okay, I'm going to do that as my mission on Friday. Is going to be to try and figure out how to get them to send it to me now.
But the KDP support is pretty good, so they'll probably be able to tell you how to get that done.
Excellent. Cara had another question. You both could answer this because you both have done Ingram Sparks and you both have done Kindle Unlimited. Do you miss Kindle Unlimited? Would you? Is it something you would like to do more of, or are you more invested into Ingram Sparks now?
Well, Annabelle is still in Kindle Unlimited, and I think all my short stories and novellas in the future will be. I'm not sure about the full-length novels, though. I've gotten into a couple groups where they talk about specifically the business side of books, and Kindle Unlimited is where they're making a decent amount of their money. So, like, from a marketing aspect and from the financial aspect, if you're trying to make a career out of it, it might be a good option. But I'm not sure. Like, most ebooks go through Kindle, so I'm considering putting the ebooks back on there. I'm just not sure.
JD?
Yeah. Envy is on KU. I'm keeping the Divine Prophecy series as on both. But I'm considering, when I release Dawn of Avery, that's the working title, I think that's going to go to KU, simply because I think with the genre, it would do quite well with KU. In terms of how I'd compare the sales so far, it's hard really, because they are different genres, Envy and Sorceress of Truth. But I do seem to get more take up of Envy, particularly if there's any sort of promotion going or anything. So yeah, it's a hard one. But I think a lot of it is genre dependent.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we have had a lovely chat now for almost an hour. So I'm going to let you guys go, but I'm going to thank you both for coming on and being my first ever guests. I hope it hasn't been too traumatizing for you both.
It's actually been a lot easier than I expected it to be.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. I've loved having you both here. Maybe we'll be able to do it again sometime.